Hey everybody, today we're going to unbox and put together one of my favorite new reels for this year. It's going to be my new permit reel. It's the Daiwa Certate 4000. So we'll get started right away. These things just came in. And open this baby up. Now the Certate is definitely one of the Daiwa's high-end reels. I like that for the permit fishing because, man, permit fight really hard. You also are in a high salt environment, and this one, you know, if I have my choice, this is the one that I'm gonna get. So as you start out, comes pretty sweet. It's got a little carry case with your handle in it, I guess. And then this is the reel, and that is an ultra compact, really sweet spinning reel. Wind that right on. It's got an O-ring inside there. That's pretty sweet. Okay, so the Certate is one of my favorite reels because it actually does have this automatic bail, like when you turn it. So if I give this reel to somebody that doesn't know a whole lot about spin fishing and they don't know how to manually close the bail, which some of the reels are manually closing bails, this one still opens and closes manually. I may choose to close it myself with my hand so that I have perfect control over it, but it still has the automatic bail, which I think is pretty good. So what you're going to do in order to get started here, you just back the drag right off. We're going to do this first one, we're going to do with a line winder. And the reason that I want to do it with a line winder, I know not everybody has a line winder. In fact, very few people do have a line winder, but you might have the choice of buying a new reel, getting it spooled at the tackle shop versus going home and spooling it yourself. And why would you want to, maybe the tackle shop might charge you $5 to do it themselves or to do it, or you could do it yourself for free. Why would you want to do it at the tackle shop? And I'm going to show you how a line winder works and why you would want to spool the reel with the line winder. Now, one of the things that you see on this particular spool is that it doesn't have the rubber gasket in here at all. So a rubber gasket on the spool itself will be a good anchor point for the braid. Now, braided line is very, very slippery. So if I just tie directly to this, I may put 300 yards of line on here, and then I may be able to just move all of that around like this. A lot of people have had that problem before. So one of the things that reel manufacturers started doing is putting this rubber gasket in here to where you can get a good anchor point for the braid. If you don't have that, what we're going to do is we're going to start with monofilament, and we're going to put a little bit of monofilament on, and the monofilament is going to be able to grab to the spool. Then we tie a double uni from the mono to the braid, and you'll have a good secure anchor point. Okay. So with the line winder, we take the spool and we put it right into the machine like this, and we're going to get it as even as we possibly can, put a little tension on it, and now we're ready to roll. So the first step, like I said, I'm going to put monofilament on here. I'm just going to put just a little bit on there, and then I'm going to fill the rest of the spool with braid. So because we don't have the rubber gasket on this particular reel, what we're going to do is we're going to use a little bit of monofilament. And any kind of monofilament is going to do the trick. If everything goes well, you'll never use this in a fight. But I like to, if I have the choice, I'm going to use some very bright line so that I can see it coming off the spool. So some sort of chartreuse or orange or pink line is good, but it doesn't matter. This is not really part of your fishing setup. It's kind of like backing on a fly reel. We're going to put this on with a single uni knot. So I'm going to tie this uni knot right here. You want it to be strong, but like I say, if everything goes well, this isn't going to be part of the fight, right? So I got that uni knot on there. I'm going to go ahead and trim it before it goes down to the spool. And then I'm going to slide this right down like a noose right onto that. And the whole point is I want to get that nice and tight on there. Okay. Now I'm going to start mono up here. This is how the line winder works typically. Put that on there like that, and you can adjust the tension on the line winder. I don't need much. You have one of these little tools right here, which is crucial. This is what makes the line go back and forth across the spool nice and easily. So as I've got this, do it just like that, okay? Get that out of there. I'm going to cut this off. Okay, so you can see I only put a very small amount of monofilament on there, but it's got, if I pull on this, nothing is moving around the spool. It's tight. It's tight to that, okay? So if I see chartreuse line come off the reel, it's going to be a very short time before you hear a pop. But now it's time to put the braid on. So I wanted to leave as much room as I could for the braid. We're going to try to get, 250 yards. Okay, so now we got the braid up here, and we're ready to secure the braid to the fluoro. So what we're going to do is, or the monofilament. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a double uni knot. So we'll start with the braid side. And you just loop it over like that. Go 6 times around. And once I've got it 6 times around, just grab that tag end, give it a little pull, and that will go right down to the line. We'll tighten that up real tight. And then the same thing on the other side. The uni knot here. Okay. Now I have that tight as well. Pull that down. Now these 2 knots are going to cinch together. And I'll pull on that really hard. Okay, that's good. And now I'll trim it off. I find that it is much better. A little tension. I'll hold that in my teeth while I just trim it off. So now we've got the braid connected to the backing. We're going to put this line on. We'll be able to see with the counter right here how many yards we're putting on, and I'm going to add a little tension with my hand. And I'm going to put this across the spool nice and evenly. So I'm able to operate this with a foot pedal, and I can speed it up or slow it down. But I want the line to go nice and smooth across. So now we got this spooled up. We've got 175 yards of 20-pound on this reel, and that is with some backing on there. So we could have gotten more line on there had we gone straight to the spool or used less monofilament, but that is going to be perfect. For this, we've also maintained a nice edge right here on the edge of the reel. Many people would fill this up further, but if you keep it lower like this, you get less knots. And so we have 20-pound on this. We're going to put this on a rod and go out and go fishing. So I'm going to spool up a whole bunch of other ones just like this. And that is the permit reel, 4000 Certate.